Hi, welcome. In this video, this is part three of my breakdown series by way of Kevin Murdaugh and the dog named Enzo. And again, talking about all the problems, okay, going through, talking about this whole idea about, blocking dogs, tapping, stomping your foot, making noise. And again, on the video, okay, I captured this, the kind of the still image on part one where you see this dog like biting into, grabbing a hold of the owner near the end of the session. Like, shouldn't be happening. Okay, I mean, it doesn't happen when I'm engaging in terms of bringing a dog under a level of intentional control. Change happens because it's the right conversation. Your dog isn't going to start invading that person that way. I mean, that's the first thing to be dealt with is you own you, which means that right away, based again on having the right, bring those core ingredients, aligning those properly. Okay, that dog starts to see that owner different very quickly. Okay, so you don't get that at the end of the session craziness like that. It doesn't. It doesn't happen. If it's happening, it's happening for a reason, right? Because you know, the criteria or the to establish be what needs to be established isn't being established by way of how the dog's perceptions are changing. But here's the thing is when you get into this type of a standoffish method where it's all just superficial based on appearances, this is what happens. Okay. Especially again, you start dealing with some of these dogs that I call the 1 percentile dog. Watch out. But again, on the other video, like as we're going through this, you see even the posturing, okay, in terms of that owner sitting on the floor that way. That shouldn't be happening. You want clarity the right way. You want to engage into a power play the right way. Okay, that's the messaging that needs to be happening. And if you want to look at the confusion, like a really good video that shows that whole thing with, posturing, the hands rubbing. Here you see the anti-dog trainer with his anti-bite glove on, petting the dog. You go watch, encourage you, go watch the video that is available for free. It's on my YouTube channel. It's a Christopher Fraze video where he's, interacting with a very reactive dog from Kuwait. Okay. And he gets bitten multiple times. But I talk about leading up to the bite, what's happening, why it's happening, right? I go through the whole thing about this whole thing about clarity. It's the same problem. It's that kind of, this type of convoluted, muddy, messy type of idea of things. So again, it's a conversation. You want a clear conversation by way of a intentional interaction based method. That makes all the difference. So let's play some more
Yeah,
of
I want to
this.
say when you grab the towel again and he starts kind of going after it, I want to assert myself to tell him to go away.
So here he's talking about, go away. Again, I talk about again, if a dog is grabbing items and stuff, the best method to affect the dog's state of mind in that moment is the push-pull method. Okay, you can go watch my videos how I'm doing that. And what that does is again, it brings the dog, it changes the perception. The dog will release it. The dog will open their mouth up and release it because, intentional control is happening, influence is affecting the mind of the dog. And it's a great way, okay, to establish, even if you're doing, say, ball play, it's in those moments that affect change. So here, clearly, Murdo has a different idea of how to deal with this stuff.
Now, don't back up though.
Oh.
So just to show you. So I wanna clap and move towards, and I want to also be very assertive in my eye contact. I don't want to back up or show
Can't see anything here, so
he's reading all
let me
that.
put his camera on the
So
floor
if I
or
give him that, he's gonna pick up on it and be like,
put a
okay,
blanket
I can
over
push
it.
a
I
little
don't know
bit
what's
further,
going
but
on.
I want to be the one that push into him. I want him to react to me
Can't see
rather
it.
than me react to him. Does that make sense?
Yes. But now, what am I gonna do this?
Yeah, because he seems to be yeah. Okay, there you go. And that's what he should do. Yeah, he should stay right where he's at.
The same thing. Here's the problem. When you talk about this whole thing, whether Murdoch advocates like getting them to wait for their food, or this whole thing with just this type of a quasi Caesar Milan approach with tapping and blocking and making noise and stuff to get a dog to stay in position, doesn't mean that change is happening. Okay, I want people to understand that dog could be like, all right, I'm out of options right in the moment here, but I still own that towel. I mean, understand this is about lining it up properly. People wonder because, the proof will be there. Understand that when guys like Murdoch walk away from situations and stuff with these dogs, you see the things don't actually improve, right? Things, don't the relationship doesn't get any better because again, you're dealing with dogs that will blow this off because, it doesn't get in their pond the right way. Okay. You're still on the outside looking in.
The cleanest floor.
Jumping on her and
Remember,
stuff.
move into him. Don't back up. There you go.
See, because in the video, you see the multiple lines invading her space, jumping on her, grabbing her. You see that stuff go on. It's just like, it's ridiculous.
Now you can even tell him no. But if I did it, I would say it just like that. Yeah, I would say no, and I would kind of bend over. Say kind of the same way you would scold.
My face.
What's that?
I'm afraid he'd come at my face.
Well, you don't have to get close, and you could just to do it enough to kind of. It's almost like a bit domineering, but the same way you might assert yourself to a kid, where maybe you're trying to really knock that off. It's the same idea.
Now look
There you go. Perfect.
Perfect.
Do it again. Move into him.
Got a hold of it. The dog's got a hold of it.
No.
And like her husband's yelling no because Murdoch ain't doing the thing. The husband's like saying, "What is this? This is ridiculous." Okay, I'll just. I mean, the more because some of this I haven't watched all the way through. Honestly, when I look at this stuff with Murdoch, I say the balance. I've seen some force-free trainers that do a better job than this. I'll be honest. Like this is so messy. I mean, the dog is keep pushing because it's like this. It's like being passive. Okay, it's not about being aggressive either, but it's about being intentional. Okay, certain words I use about being intentional, providing clarity to the dog, and intercepting. Okay, the dog's state of mind. This is an express state. The dog still throughout the whole thing. You see the dog continue to push those boundaries, push them.
There you go. There you go. Hey.
Dog still see, so he jumps over, pushes his fingers in like Cesar Millan. Dog has a moment looking at him, but this dog ain't, what I'm saying? This dog is like, okay, this ain't gonna go down here. This dog ain't accepting and then able to move away. Okay, understand that this is the problem here. This whole thing with I talk about primary supply, secondary supply, the dog's, the free will of the dog being able to escape, move away. This conversation, the integrity of the conversation is not happening. Okay, between the dog and owner through a leash. Okay, it's a type of power play. It needs to go down the right way because this dog is like consider it like this dog's able to work the system here. It's just like okay, well I can move this way. I don't have to deal with this. I'll come back in a minute, and it's the same stuff.
Just be a little bit firmer.
Okay.
That's the difference. Is
the dog moving back
the
in.
way you're standing. There. Okay, there you go. That was better.
What about this? This is all.
I would do.
See, now the dog's got a hold of her jacket. I mean, got a hold of her jacket, right? I mean, my thing is, okay, when the dog comes in, payments due. And when I mean payments due, it isn't about being abusive or anything. It means that you're redirecting, you're starting to engage the dog, okay, through the leash, hooking the dog, starting to, assert, intentional control, starting to intercept. Watch my videos, how I'm doing it. It's like, that's the thing. You do not, this is a non-negotiable thing because this is like the dog saying, I own you. Okay. That needs to stop right away. So, but it's about that through the leash. See, this is where I talk about the leash as a way to bring this together. Okay. And the dog will power play it, but it's like giving the person the leash skill, the ability to control, to be able to affect change. And then when you do the right leash method, okay, through how you're interacting, when that dog separates, that dog isn't coming in that way. Okay. That dog isn't trying to grab that person at all because it's like, okay, holy crap. Okay. That person is able to intercept here and bring me under a level of control and have that right conversation through the leash. This isn't happening here. That part of the puzzle is completely missing. And you see the problems here throughout. Okay, this grabbing a hold of her clothing, invading her space, jumping on her.
Do the same thing.
See?
Clap. tell him to. But you want
See that in Murdaugh's all discombobulated. It's almost like he doesn't know how to deal with this problem.
to move in him.
Clap, like clap your hand. Like what the heck is that? Like what is it? This dog's still going. She's clapping, and what it'll do is just excite the dog.
That's okay. That other
Stomping
one
your
you
feet,
gave
jumping on her
was
again.
really good.
He's saying really good. He's sounding like he's sounding like John McGuigan, the Glasgow dog trainer. You know, good, good. And the dog is out on the end of the line, barking at wildlife. And I put a video of that, and he's saying, "Good, good job." The same good. What's good about this? There's nothing good about this.
No.
Because here's the thing: he's somehow trying to get this owner to work this out through gaining control of this dog. But it comes through the leash. It comes through being connected, to be able to have a tool being attached and connected to redirect this. Okay, that's the proper way. That's going to give her the confidence, okay, to be able to have an option, to have a tool available. And so he's so anti-tool, anti-leash. This is the mess that develops, and it's no good. It's not going to be effective, because all it does is it's going to frustrate her. This dog keeps grabbing her. This dog obviously is attached to her the wrong way.
There you go.
Clapping your hands and crap like that.
Hey,
And then see, he tries to step in here. This dog cowers down a little bit.
He's looking for me for protection.
But he's not the dog owner. Do you understand? You want to,
but you can add. You can.
so he gets closer like that. The dog will leave.
I love. Hay's kind of my go-to.
See how the dog is free.
But you see how he responded to that. It's kind of like that.
But see how the dog's free. The dog can weasel their way around, okay, and start invading her space again. You know, that's the thing. I mean, it's like you don't have the intention, you don't have the control over this dog that way. You got to have this dog under control.
I want to get that out of him. That's how I know I'm communicating strong enough for him to get the message. If I can say that and he looks at me and is like, "Oh,
This dog's very much about supply. Really
I
is.
got it." That's what I want to get out of him. If you don't get that out of him, then what you're saying or doing isn't strong enough.
Okay.
So that's what we have to work on.
Isn't strong enough.
So
Well,
you're
again, he's saying, well, what you're doing is not strong enough. Well, what does that represent? You're clapping your hands, stomping your feet. I said the dog can just blow that off, because you're not in their pond, okay? You're not engaging. See, that's the thing with the conversation. Again, an example I use is difference between standing 20 feet away from a child having a conversation as a parent, or touching knees. That really that makes all the difference in the world. The child that's 20 feet away, their pupils are dilated. They're like looking right through you. They're not paying any attention to you. Have you ever seen that happen? This is like, well, big deal. I mean, but knee to knee, it's like, okay, this is serious. Okay. Doesn't mean you're a threat. It just means that you're engaging as a parent the right way. Parental influence, right? It's like you got my attention now. Right? That again, through the leash, you can control the dog. You bring those core ingredients come online. You're giving the owner the right skill set, but you're also creating the right effect. Okay, so when that leash, when you detach from that leash, that dog, trust me, that dog's reevaluating. Okay, it isn't going to be jumping and engaging like that, because it's like as soon as that dog comes forward, it starts to back on the leash. Right? That's what really starts to dissipate this really fast, because it's like, holy crap. It's not like you're overly correcting the dog or anything like that either. Okay, you're just bringing this dog under intentional control. You're starting to intercept, because the dog, you can't chew bubblegum and talk at the same time. So this dog can't put out that control, can't manifest that way through the method. Okay, if you watch my videos, you'll see how I'm doing it. But it starts to fade that owner into the relationship right away, the right way. This stuff goes away fast. That stuff goes away fast. But it's happening all through this video for that reason, because it's not coming together. This dog can bypass, they can move. You'll see this in the video, two parts of the video. Dog going right around, moving out, getting away, biting into the owner. I mean, it's crazy.
Your body language still just a little bit.
I know, because I'm so afraid
Right.
of getting bit.
Right. No, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
guarded.
Now, is there an object we can use, say, like, to help you kind of create some space?
So now he's coming up with like, is it an object? I don't know. Is he thinking like a tennis racket? I don't know. But he's asking her because God forbid you should use the leash. Like, I know we got to find an
A
object.
walking cane,
Walk. Perfect.
it's not like a
Perfect.
typical walking.
That's okay. We can use that.
I have tried this, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Some crazy crap.
Yep.
And see the dog right.
No, that's perfect. Because now you can use that. It'll give you kind of more of a sense of.
Now we got the Gandalf cane out. Okay, so this is like some Lord of the Rings crazy.
So to assert yourself, you can use the cane to block him.
See, block. See that word block. Right? It's like ignoring the selfish child, like turning your back, saying, "Okay, if I just ignore this, this will go away." Okay, there's a difference between ignoring something and confronting and engaging. Right? Confronting the problem. This is not about this. This is all opposite. And this is again, when I watch this stuff, this is like someone who's watched like 10 episodes of Caesar Milan, and it's like throw up a website. I'm gonna go for it. I got some season. I got season 1 of Caesar in, and I'm doing this. Like that's what this kind of really does remind me of. Right now, the dog's
So
gonna
that
start
way you can
chewing
take
at the,
on a
at
more of
the
a stronger posturing.
We may have to take the fringe off because he's wanting to. But so then how are we holding
Let's
out
see.
of this and then clap?
Now, can you imagine her having to carry a cane around in the house all day long, like some sort of like kung fu staff? I mean, I don't understand. Like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, but again, doing the leash method, using proper structure with the crate. See, normal. Just ain't normal.
Hey,
Oh, you're actually physically using it. Okay.
yeah, I want to push him away, but he is. Yeah, we can even maybe.
See, just what a mess.
Now it would work better if he wasn't trying to bite it.
Oh, I can take that off.
Maybe see, now he's biting it. Because that's the thing, right? It's not about the person that way. You know what I mean? It should be about the person, right? It's about like trying to block, use objects and everything. So we'll stop part 3 here. Okay, now we got the cane going. So I'll be doing some more parts here. I guess I just need a cup of coffee to be able to get through this whole mess. But again, just to show, okay, these are things you don't want to do. Okay, I mean, this is the thing about because here's the point. At the very end, you watch the end of this video, near the end of the video, you see this dog biting into her again. I mean, crazy. So stay tuned for part 4.